This was the heart-stopping moment at the very end of the police operation. Had this man succeeded in what he appeared to be trying to do, throw himself off the edge of the building, the story of the day would have been very different. In the end, they restrained him, apparently against his will, and took him away for hospital treatment. He'd been describing the police as fascists as he ran for the edge, but all the same, they almost certainly saved his life. And the fact of that may be a political as well as a human story. Had they not saved him, no doubt some would be claiming that the police were in fact responsible for his fate. That in turn could have had consequences on the streets. It was the extraordinary end to an incident which began when dozens of riot police surrounded a disused block in the Soho district of central London. That had been the base for several days for a large group of committed anti-capitalists, the self-proclaimed command centre of anti-G8 protesters. Social networks had for weeks been full of talk of a whole series of planned actions across the capital before next week's summit in Northern Ireland. They were due to begin the afternoon after the police moved in. Evidently senior officers believed they were being organised from in here. Tuesday was supposed to be a whole day of protests right around London, and indeed there were events scheduled right across the city for the whole of the rest of the week. What this appears to be is a preemptive attempt by the police to shut it all down before any of it got underway. So a siege ensued. The police tweeted that the protesters would be free to go if they left, but they answered with a big yellow banner reading "No passaran," none shall pass. For a time they danced on the balcony. The longer this was going on, the more publicity they were getting from it. From their points of view, this was the illegitimate disruption of the right of democratic protest. After several hours of talks, the police lost patience and moved in to cut the doors down. Out came piles of debris used as barricades, and as office workers looked on, the occupants followed, one by one, carrying their possessions, and with only a couple of exceptions, accepting their arrest. By the evening there were still some small crowds protesting around central London, but the police will probably think they succeeded in their aim of disrupting anti-G8 protests before the main event after the weekend. Lawrence Lee, Al Jazeera, Central London.